Hello again, fellow YouTubers. It's been a little while since I've made a video because I have moved. I finally have my man cave. As you can see, I have all my equipment set up. And I have actually obtained an arsenal of pedals, which is the main subject today. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm running through my Blackstar HT 100 stage. The pedals that I have now, I've acquired the hotone skyline tuner, which I'll compare it to a pick so you can see how small it truly is. All it is nothing but a tuner, but it also has a clean boost to it if you want. So you can completely kill your sound or that. I got a Blackstar drive to run to push the front of my amp, and it's a Blackstar, so I know it would go good with my amp. I got the Flashback X4 for a good delay MIDI bass, because after I get all my pedals, I'm going to go to MIDI. A compression mainly for clean stuff. I really don't like it for sustain. All the time-based stuff. This stuff over here is running through the effects loop, and that stuff is those three are going directly into the front. And now I'm just gonna do a basic review of mainly the X4 and what it can do, the Flashback X4. I'm just going to talk about the delay because I have a looper, the Digitech RC3. So I don't use the looper on it, but one really cool thing about this is not only can you use it as a regular delay pedal like the Flashback X4, I mean the regular Flashback, but you can select a delay and then switch it over to looper and then have that delay in your sound so you won't lose your delay like you do with the regular Flashback. But like I said, I don't use that. I also got a MXR Fullbore Metal that I have running straight. I use it as a preamp going straight into my tubes, and I usually push it with my Blackstar to make it sound more tube-like, because the Blackstar HT drive is actually powered by a 12AX7 tube. And now I figured I'd give you all some tone samples just to show you what the pedals do. The guitar I'm starting off with is just a standard. Instead of it's a ESP LTD EC1000 Deluxe, just the standard one. Ernie Ball 10 to 46, I believe, pretty sure. But in the neck, instead of the 60, I have the 85. The 60's in another guitar. But this is just, first I'm going to show what the amp can do. It's not mic'd up, so it's just going to go directly into my phone. So if the audio isn't the best, I do apologize. I'm going to start out with the MX4. In the MX4 you have, I believe it's, I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 12 different delays, 2 with mods, and then you have 4 tone prints. You also have 3 presets and a tap button so you can set your tap. But you can also flip it over, and like I said earlier, you can choose your delay, then flip it over. Also, this switch right here The regular one is, I believe, a quarter note. Then the next is an eighth note dotted, and then the last is a quarter plus an eighth note dotted. So you get 3 different delay repetition types. You have your delay time, your feedback, which is amount of delay, how many times it echoes, and your delay level. I'm going to start off with just the tape. The 2. Let's turn up the delay and the feedback, and I'll show you what the this does. That was the quarter note. This is the dotted eighth note. It's faster. It's double as fast. And then you have both of them together. It's sort of like a galloping sound. You have the space. Another cool thing you can do with this is you can get just the sound of it without a delay. If you turn the delay time all the way down, it'll completely change your tone. But that's space. Then you got the analog. The analog with modulation. And like I said, you can turn it down and just get the modulation if you want. And like I said, with that you can change the sound. You have reverse. Dynamic is basically how it works is the delay doesn't work usually when you're playing, but as soon as you stop, you get your delay. So that's good for like rock and stuff like that, where you don't want a lot of delay when you're playing your distortion, but you do when it goes to you're wanting to do a clean or something like that. But this has, like I said, it has the A, B, and the C, so you can, and it's also MIDI capable, so you can choose. This is the 2290. This is TC Electronics digital. Slow it down some. 2290 with modulation. Just to get the modulation effect. I particularly don't like that. You have the slap. Lo-fi, which is, and like I said, this, I'm sorry for repeating this, but for every one of these you can completely turn the delay time down and see what the delay actually sounds like, and then set your delay time to what you want. And then you have ping pong. Okay, and then you have your this can actually also do flanger. I'm gonna have to overdrive for this. Couldn't hear that very well, but those are my own tone prints that I put in. I mainly have it set up for rock. Another thing that you can do with this is you can do a self-feeding looper. What you do is you take the input and you put it in this one, and then you do a looper from the input, the mono input, to the stereo output. And then you do the output coming from the, the input going into the stereo, and the output coming from the mono, and you have a self-feeding looper. It adds so many more delays. Now the other pedals I'm going to do is the hot tone. It is the fastest tuner on the market. As soon as I hit a note, it shows it immediately. It's amazing how fast it is. And you can also use it as a boost. That's boosted. That's regular. So that's what that does. The Blackstar I use, basically what it does is it is a pure tube overdrive. It tightens up like this is a bass, and it tightens it up. And with overdrive, I'm not going to do overdrive 2 because you definitely won't be able to hear it. It'll be too distorted through the microphone, but it really tightens it up, and especially for solos and stuff like that. The compression sustainer isn't much to talk about. It's a compression sustainer. That's all it is. The looper isn't much to talk about. The Fullbore Metal is actually a very nice pedal. It has a built-in noise gate. It has a mid-scoop noise gate right here. And if you take off the back cover, you can actually set the level at which I know it's a pain in the butt to do it, especially if you're trying to set it when you're changing it, when you want to change it. But it does have a built-in noise gate. It has a mid-scoop. It has the regular volume, the gain, and the 3 equalizer, but it also has a mid-frequency knob, which basically allows you. Everyone knows that the sound of your guitar comes from the mid-range, mainly. So you can dial in the exact frequency you want, a high frequency, mid, or a lower frequency, more faded mid. I'll show you how I have mine. It has more of a modern metal sound. For this, I'm going to use my 7th string, since this is the last pedal. But it really brings out the crunch, and the EMG sort of, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but it sort of doesn't really show the bass of this low note. But with this pedal, and I run the Blackstar, I push the MXR Fullbore Metal with the Blackstar. And the MXR is actually in the effects loop. I use it only as a preamp running directly into the tubes. And this is the foot controller for my Line 6 spider valve. I've actually noticed it is a much better amp when you can turn the volume up, and now that I have my own room, I can turn the master volume up. The thing I didn't like about it at first is the distortions in it are a very weak preamp distortion, and with a pure tube amp the distortion goes from the preamp tubes all the way to the power tubes. Well, if you crank up the master volume on the Line 6 spider valve tube, you'll actually get some of that distortion to come into the tubes, which really makes it, the resonance really comes out when you crank it up. That's the biggest thing, the resonance. And that's what I was really missing. My next purchase probably will be a power attenuator, so I can run that into my cab and have it cranked so I'm pushing the tubes hard. Because running digital in a tube and having the master volume down, you're not pushing the tubes like you need to. Like on my Blackstar, I have the volume set at least 9 o'clock all the time to push the tube some. And I have the preamp size down a little, so I'm pushing the power tubes as much as I'm pushing the preamp tube, so I'm getting a nice round sound. I will say one thing negative about the Blackstar pedal. There's one time I rolled my foot across it like that, and I came across on a switch. The top button actually fell out, so I had to rig it. I mean, there's a spring inside of there that contacts a metal contact, and there was a bigger spring that applied more pressure. Well, now I had to take that one out so I could get it to work, and now it takes barely any pressure to turn it on, and I actually really like that. But with the Blackstar, you have just the gain, which I have set almost all the way, that's all the way down, it needs to be up some. Tone maxed out and level maxed out. I use it as a boost. And everybody knows what a compression sustainer does. It makes sustained notes, and it basically compresses the sounds, makes the lows and the highs in the same place, and makes it so you can hit strings at different strength and basically hit one string not as hard and the other one harder, so one will ring out louder than the other, and it'll bring them both down to the same level. But that's it from this video. So this is Dude You Usually See signing off. Peace.